Welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I am Razzle11, and you can find me on Twitter at Razzle11Grinds. Going to take a look at some pitching for today, Sunday the 28th. Looks like we got an 8-game main slate on DraftKings. I assume FanDuel is very similar today. Some interesting games. Not much for high totals in these games, but no real weather to worry about. Some warmer spots, but nothing stands out as an extreme hitter or pitcher friendly situation. Um, so let's take a look. At the top, we get the two guys facing off in New York, Gerrit Cole and Darvish. Cole is coming off of a really bad start, and he has had two pretty bad ones in his last four. He's given up 2 home runs in 3 of his last 4, which is obviously worrisome in New York, but overall his numbers are better at home. And I don't think this San Diego squad uh, is swinging it very well. So I am very interested in Gerrit Cole. I'm a little annoyed that he's $1,800 more than the second highest priced pitcher, and 2,700 more than the third highest. So we are paying a premium for Gerrit Cole. I am totally fine with it, but um, it is a little annoying. Darvish, I think he's perfectly fine. I'm not in a hurry to jam him into any builds. His K numbers have been trending down. Home runs are up a little bit. He's going to give up a run or two or three. I just don't know if I need to go there at 9,700. He's going to be in my initial pool, but I will be honest that if it comes to pulling anybody out, he's going to be one of the first guys I consider. Not that the Yankees lineup is destroying the baseball or anything, uh, but I just don't really like the price combination along with the fact that he's going to give up some runs, probably give up a home run or two, and doesn't seem to offer us double-digit K upside right now. So, uh, I'll look to kind of go below here, and Eduardo Rodriguez is one of the guys. Rough start 2 starts ago, bounced back last game with a pretty solid start. Gave up some runs, I think, in the fifth or sixth. K's bounced back. Uh, I really like the spot. White Sox offense isn't really doing much at all. I think this game has a 7.5 total. He is a slight underdog against Dylan Cease, uh, but based on how they're throwing the baseball this season, I trust Eduardo Rodriguez a little more than Dylan Cease. Speaking of Cease, I will be going to him. I will be expecting to be disappointed again. Um, I'm not sure if there's an injury that he's hiding or if there's a confidence issue or what it is, but he is not the same person. Obviously not the same from last year, but even his first 2 to 3 starts this year, uh, he just isn't the same guy since then. I don't know if he's focusing on getting more ground balls now, as we see 22 ground ball outs to 8 fly ball outs over his last 2 starts, but just 6 strikeouts. I know it's against Cleveland, different squad. That might have something to do with it. They generally don't strike out as much. They put the ball in play. They have very little power, so more likely to have guys hit the ball on the ground. But I, I don't know. I keep going back just because I know what the upside is when things are right. We saw what happens when things are right for him. That start to begin the season just made me think that he was, setting up for another Cy Young type performance on the year. And then something happened. I don't know what. Uh, Wish I had an idea, but I'm going to go back to him. Favorite against Detroit. I'm prepared to be disappointed. Not really interested in Bailey Ober against the Blue Jays. He has been solid. Rough starting in San Francisco, but he was decent prior to that, but I'm just not really interested in taking, average major league pitchers against an offense like Toronto. Alex Cobb definitely interests me. Shut down Milwaukee at home the first time he faced them. His K numbers take a big jump up on the road. His walks drop down, but he does give up more home runs. Uh, Pitching to less contact, that generally happens. Sounds weird, but when you try to pitch to less contact, you're more prone to make mistakes over the plate. So I can understand why the home run jump up on the road. He gave up a couple home runs at the Twins, but still had a pretty strong performance. Has given up 3 runs or less in every start this season. So I'm very interested. Milwaukee just lost Adames to the IL. The lineup itself overall was struggling. So Alex Cobb is a pretty solid option. Um, it probably makes for a ton of sense to pair with Cole or even Eduardo Rodriguez as a cash game option. Excuse me. Uh, Drew Smiley against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's been swinging it better, but Drew Smiley has given up 2 runs or less in every start since his first one of the season. He's thrown the ball really well, and I think there's slight wind blowing in at Wrigley. It looks like in from right field at about 9 miles an hour. It is warmer in Chicago, so that can negate some of the wind. But I have to be impressed with the way that Smiley has been throwing the baseball. So I do think we need to consider him. It's tough to kind of go there just because, Cobb is just $100 more. And looking at it, Cobb is a minus 130 favorite. Smiley sits at a minus 160 favorite. So both definitely in play. I think I'm going to consider Berrios a GPP option. 20 plus DK points in 3 out of his last 4 starts. Has not been good on the road, has been atrocious. Um, so that is why he's going to fall into the GPP play. But he is returning to make a start in Minnesota. Uh, I really like the upside. And let's see, I'm not sure if you can hear that. The video started in the background. Um, where was I here? So Barris is going to make my GPP list. Minnesota does strike out plenty, so there's upside. I'm just not going to go super heavy on him because he's just been atrocious on the road. Heading to the Kansas City game, I am definitely intrigued with Mackenzie Gore. I seem to always play him. I like the upside. I hate the fact that he reminds me of Blake Snell, but it is what it is. His numbers on the road quite a bit better than at home. Strikeout numbers jump considerably. He's always at risk to give up some home runs and some walks, but there are definitely some strikeouts in this Kansas City lineup. The game does have a 9 total, so it's a little frustrating, but I do like the upside of Mackenzie Gore. Jordan Montgomery has been best on the road this season. Uh, Worth a dart maybe, but he has not looked good over his last 4 starts. He's giving up a bunch of home runs, some more walks. Just not ideal for him coming into this. We just know that Cleveland's offense is pretty weak overall. Not a whole lot of power. So, and he does get to neutralize, a Josh Naylor a bit. Maybe Andres Jimenez as well. So, uh, interesting option, but not somebody I want to go overweight on because I think his upside's kind of capped in this matchup. Graham Ashcraft, one of the guys that I just can't figure out, has looked atrocious in 3 of his last 4 starts. The other start still wasn't very good. I don't know where his K numbers have gone, similar to Cease. I'm going to have to pass on him today, but he's somebody that I generally try to play, but I just can't do it today. Daniel Lynch returning from the IL. wasn't wasn't strong last year. Um, Looks like he was pretty strong in his rehab start, so maybe he's an option. But I just don't know that he's gonna go deep in the game at all. Um, and Washington has been kind of annoying, especially against left-handed pitching. So I can see why somebody would be about Daniel Lynch today, but I'm going to have to pass. So it's a little annoying. We don't really have anybody cheap that gives us a ton of upside, that at least in my eyes, um, on this slate. So we're gonna have to rely on our pitching and then locating a value combination in our stacks and go from there. But that's where I'm at for pitching for today. If you like what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on. Get that alert anytime we drop a video here at DFS Army. And if you want to join us, get access to our tools, join me in chat, I'll put links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, it's RAZ, for 10% off. And as always, best of luck, everybody.